Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Gervonta Davis knocks out Ryan Garcia in the 7th round of their fight. Quite frankly, when it comes to this fight, I felt that Tank Davis was more or less always in control. From what I was seeing, he was the more cerebral guy. And you know, this was a big fight. There was a lot of attention, a lot of pressure. And I felt Tank handled the event much better than Ryan Garcia. Throughout this fight, I felt Garcia looked a little jittery at times. And I would say at times his overall approach looked a little naive, you know. First round, I actually felt Ryan did okay though. First round is the first round. Tank Davis doesn't usually do too much in first rounds anyway. He was kind of looking what Garcia had. You know, Tank was kind of sitting on the outside, covering up, probing with his jab. Again, yeah, kind of seeing what Ryan Garcia had, whereas Ryan Garcia, he was popping his jab on a more regular basis, and, you know, Tank was blocking some of the jabs, but a few got through. Tank really didn't throw many punches in round one. Round one for him looked like a bit of a scouting mission, so he kind of gave away round one. Garcia tried a couple of left hooks that missed. He landed a kind of slap hook in round one, but nothing serious. But round one was a Ryan Garcia round. Round two, you know, Ryan Garcia came out quite aggressive actually. He came out quite aggressive. He tried to utilise his size against Tank Davis. And he kind of, at times he was trying to rush Davis and really make the most of his size and physicality, getting on top of Davis. And he landed a couple of good short shots in round two early on. There was a couple of right uppercuts he landed on Tank Davis that I think Tank Davis may have felt, because Tank held Ryan after those shots and Ryan was trying to work in the clinch. And in the clinch he landed a couple of shots. You know, with the free hand. So Ryan tried some roughhouse tactics in round two, and he had success early on. Tank looked a little flustered, I would say, and Ryan saw that, but the mistake Ryan made, he got too crazy. He was then spamming his left hook, trying to land it on Tank Davis. Tank Davis was evading these shots. Now the crowd was getting very excited, but I saw these shots missing quite badly. Tank was able to see them, and I thought, damn, if he keeps on doing this, he's going to get caught. Lo and behold, he shoots with his left hook. You know, he really turns into it to the point to where he kind of knocks himself off balance a little bit. Tank Davis gets underneath it and comes back from underneath with an overhand left, up and over. It catches Ryan Garcia bang on the chin. Great counter shot. Ryan Garcia goes down. Really good punch. Really well timed by Tank Davis. He utilised Garcia's aggression against him and his technical flaws, you know. So he drops Ryan Garcia in the second round. Garcia gets up straight away. Initially, I felt that was a mistake because it was a big shot. I was expecting Ryan Garcia to take a little bit of the count, you know, try to regroup, recover. But he gets up straight away, and initially I felt that was a mistake, you know, not giving time for his head to clear. But Ryan Garcia actually didn't look too hurt once he got up. After the knockdown, Tank Davis tried to force the issue a little bit, looking for his left hand. He was starting to attack a little bit more, landed a couple of good straight lefts to the body. Ryan Garcia tried to time Tank coming in with a left hook. But yeah, round two, Tank Davis round. Quite frankly, after round two, I felt Tank Davis was in control for rounds 3, 4 and 5. I thought these were all Tank Davis rounds. When you look at these rounds, Tank Davis was getting a bit more aggressive, you know, leading with punches. The straight left to the body was a really good shot for Tank Davis in these rounds. He wasn't spamming it, but now and again he would land that good straight left hand to the pit of the stomach. I also liked that Tank Davis in this fight was countering with his right hand, mainly his right jab. He was beating Ryan to the punch and also countering him with that right jab. He was also looking for the southpaw counter straight left hand, but Ryan Garcia tucked up well for a lot of those shots to the head. But Tank was well in control in rounds 3, 4 and 5. And one thing I will say, round 2, I think really spooked Ryan Garcia. He was really, after that knockdown, he was really cautious about what was coming back, about the counters. Look at rounds 3, 4 and 5 in particular. When Ryan Garcia would throw his jab, he wouldn't really commit to it. And what I mean is he'd flick the jab out, but he'd kind of pull back because he was scared of getting countered. When you don't believe in your jab, it's a recipe for disaster. And Tank was just able to outbox him in those rounds. And yeah, in these rounds, Tank Davis had Ryan Garcia where he wanted him, really, I would say. Round 6 was a better round for Ryan Garcia. It looked like in round 6, Garcia started to get back on his jab and throw it properly. Also, he was throwing the right hand behind the jab. Early on in the round, Ryan Garcia landed a couple of good right hands at mid-range, sort of chopping kind of overhand rights come right hooks. Both shots connected on the chin of Tank Davis, flush shots. Tank took them well though, and he landed a couple of good 1-2s as well, Ryan Garcia. He wasn't trying to spam his left hook quite as much. You know, he was showing Tank Davis the jab and the straight right hand, and I felt it worked for him in round 6. So I gave round 6 to Ryan Garcia. Tank still had success. He was still finding that straight left hand to the pit of the stomach, still landing good jabs on Ryan Garcia. And that's another thing, by the way, throughout this fight, for the most part, it was the shorter man in Tank Davis who was landing the better jabs. But I digress. Round 7 was where the fight ended, and Ryan Garcia didn't start round 7 too bad. Similar to round 6, he landed a chopping, looping overhand right on Tank Davis, where Tank Davis was backed up into the corner. It was a good shot by Ryan Garcia, got the crowd excited. Once again, Tank took it well. After that, both guys had a couple little minor back and forths. And yeah, round 7 was where the fight ended. Tank Davis was kind of on the front foot. Ryan Garcia was backing up. Ryan Garcia opened up with like a right hook kind of punch, tried to get a right hand around the side of Tank Davis. In doing so, Ryan Garcia gave up the side of his body, his liver. Tank Davis evaded Ryan Garcia's shot, ducked, countered with the straight left hand to the liver. Delayed reaction, Ryan Garcia goes down, takes a knee, doesn't beat the counts, and he is counted out. Tank Davis wins the fight by knockout. So overall, in my opinion, this was a good performance by Tank Davis. Now, as for Ryan Garcia, I've not heard anybody's analysis of this fight. I'm sure he was hurt. It was a decent shot by Tank Davis. But I'll be real, I think Ryan Garcia swallowed it. I think he quit, I'll be honest. Hurt a little too much. Could have probably carried on, but he quit. Look at how he gets up right after the count. Gets up fine, walks to his corner, no grimacing, no nothing. He looked fine right after the count. So I personally felt Ryan Garcia quit. That's what I saw. That's how it appeared to me. And that in a fight of this magnitude is disappointing, to be honest. Disappointing. Maybe the rehydration clause had something to do with it. Who knows? But yeah, it was what it was. A good shot by Tank. It was a good counter, a body shot counter. You don't see many counters to the body these days in boxing, and it was a good shot by Tank. And overall, I would say this was Tank's best performance for a little while, because when it comes to some of Tank's recent performances, I've not really been impressed. You know, the Isaac Cruz fight, for example, the Rolly Romero fight, even the Mario Barrios fight. To me, in all of these fights, Tank's looked very susceptible. In this fight, he looked more switched on. I felt he did a good job defensively, and ultimately his counter-punching won him this fight. So yeah, Tank Davis wins. Biggest win of his career. To me now, Tank Davis has to build on this momentum, and fight the best guys possible. I hope that's what we see from here on out when it comes to Tank Davis. I'd love to see Tank in there with a Shakur Stevenson, the Lomachenko-Haney winner, etc. You know, Teofimo Lopez maybe. These are the sort of guys I want to see Tank in there with. No more of these hand-picked guys, you know. So hopefully Tank can now build on this. As for Ryan Garcia, he's 24 years old. He's saying he's going to go to 140. I mean, we'll see where Ryan goes, but yeah, 140 is more suited to him right now, no doubt about it. We'll see if he can rebuild. But technically, Ryan has a lot to improve on. That has to be said. But we'll see where he goes. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.